Hello, welcome to another video from the Animal University channel. Let's go for the video. Bulldog. The bulldog was originally used to drive cattle to market and to compete in a bloody sport called bullbaiting. Today, they're gentle companions who love kids. Even though these are purebred dogs, you may find them in the care of shelters or rescue groups. Remember to adopt. Don't shop if you want to bring a dog home. What do England, the US Marines, Yale University, University of Georgia, and dozens of other schools all have in common? The dog they have all chosen to represent their tough, tenacious characters. That dog? Why, it's the bulldog, of course. Sometimes called the English bulldog or the British bulldog, the breed originated in England and has a bloody past. It descended from fighting mastiffs that were brought to the British Isles by the Romans and was used in a bloody sport called bullbaiting. Today, however, the bulldog only slightly resembles his ancestors in appearance. And all of the ferociousness that he exhibited in the bullbaiting pens? Gone for good. Despite his still ferocious appearance, you'd be hard-pressed to find a dog with a sweeter, more loving disposition. Bulldogs are never mistaken for other breeds of dogs. They are a medium-sized dog with a thick-set, low-slung body. Their short-muzzled head is massive and square. They have broad shoulders and chests, with thick, sturdy limbs. Although bulldogs are low to the ground, they are wide and muscular. Their broad heads have cheeks that extend to the sides of their eyes, and the skin on their foreheads should have dense wrinkles. A bulldog has a droopy upper lip and his lower jaw is undershot, meaning that his lower teeth stick out farther than his top teeth. The bulldog's jaws are massive and strong, intended for latching onto his opponent and holding on. Bulldogs have round, dark eyes. Their ears are small and thin, folded back like a rose. Their short tails are carried low on their rumps. The bulldog's muscular body leads him to have a distinctive gait. Because his stocky legs are set at each corner of his body, he moves with more of a waddle than a walk. It resembles sort of a loose-jointed, shuffling, sideways roll. Because their shoulders are much wider than their rear ends and they have such large heads, it's difficult for the females to whelp puppies without assistance. Most have to have cesarean sections to deliver their puppies, so breeding a bulldog is an expensive proposition. Despite cartoon depictions of them as ferocious dogs, today's bulldogs are bred to be affectionate and kind. They are, indeed, resolute and courageous, but they aren't out to pick a fight. They often have a calm dignity about them when they are mature, and while they are friendly and playful, they can be a bit stubborn and protective of their families. Bulldogs love people. They seek people out for attention and enjoy nothing more than languishing next to their masters, and perhaps snoring while sleeping with their heads in their laps. Unfortunately, the bulldog's unique body and head structure makes him prone to health problems, especially respiratory and joint difficulties. They can quickly become overweight if they don't get enough exercise. Too much weight stresses their bodies and may aggravate existing health problems. The bulldog is a popular dog in the US, but he's not for everyone. He's surprisingly heavy for his size, and if you need to pick him up, say to take him to the vet, it can be a challenge. Inside the house, bulldogs tend to be inactive, preferring to sleep until it's time to eat again. They love children, but don't expect them to spend hours chasing a ball or running with the kids in the backyard. Your bulldog may engage in such play for a while, but then you'll find him back at your side, content to watch the world go by and look up at you happily with that face that only a mother or a devoted bulldog fan could love. Highlights. Bulldogs can be stubborn and lazy. Your mature bulldog may not be very enthusiastic about going to a walk, but it's important that he is exercised every day to keep him fit. Bulldogs can't tolerate heat and humidity. When your bulldog is outdoors, watch him carefully for signs of overheating and take him inside immediately if he starts to show distress. Some people put kiddie play pools filled with water in a shaded spot for their bulldogs to lie in when the weather is warm and everyone is outside. They definitely are house dogs and should not live outdoors all of the time. Bulldogs are sensitive to cold weather. Bulldogs wheeze, snort, and snore. They also are prone to sleep apnea. Bulldogs are well known for having flatulence. If this problem seems excessive with yours, talk to your vet. Bulldogs' short noses make them prone to a number of respiratory ailments. Bulldogs can have pinched nostrils that make it difficult for them to breathe and may require surgery to correct. Bulldogs are greedy eaters and will overeat if given the chance. Since they gain weight easily, they can quickly become obese if you don't monitor their food intake. Because of the size of their heads and fronts, bulldogs have difficulty giving birth. Most require cesareans to deliver their puppies. It isn't advised for inexperienced breeders to try to breed them. As a short-nosed breed, bulldogs are sensitive to anesthesia. Be sure to talk with your vet about this before any surgeries are done. To get a healthy pet, never buy a puppy from a backyard breeder, puppy mill, or pet store. Find a reputable breeder who tests her breeding dogs for genetic health conditions and good temperaments. History. The bulldog is a much different dog today than his ancestors. Descended from ancient Mastiff-type dogs, the bulldog breed was developed entirely in England. The first mention of the breed was in 1500, a description of a man with two bulldogs at his tail. The then fierce dogs were used in a practice called bull baiting, which involved the dog grabbing onto the bull's nose and roughly shaking it. Bull baiting actually had a purpose. It was thought to tenderize the bull's meat. For many years, this practice was said to thin the blood of the bull and make its flesh tender after it was butchered. This belief was so strong that many areas in England had laws requiring bulls to be baited before they were slaughtered. More than that, it was a popular spectator sport in a time when there were no professional sports, TV shows, movies, or video games. The angry bull would toss the dog up in the air with its horns if it could, much to the delight of the watching crowd. The dog, on the other hand, would attempt to latch onto the bull, usually at its snout, and pin it to the ground through the force of its painful bite. Upcoming bull baitings were advertised and crowds wagered on the outcome of the struggle. These early bulldogs were taller and heavier than today's bulldog, and they were bred to be especially adept at this bloody sport. Typically, they crept on their bellies toward the enraged bull so he couldn't get his horns under their bodies and toss them up in the air. And their wide mouths and powerful jaws were impossible for the bull to shake off once the bulldog had a firm hold on its snout. His short, flat nose enabled the bulldog to breathe while holding onto the bull's snout. He needed to be tenacious to hang onto the bull no matter how much the bull tried to shake him off. The bulldog's high tolerance for pain was developed to enhance his ability to excel at this barbarous spot. Even the wrinkles on his head are said to have had a purpose, to direct the blood that resulted from his grip on the bull to flow away from his eyes so he wouldn't be blinded. In 1835, after many years of controversy, bull baiting was outlawed in England, and many thought the bulldog would disappear since he no longer had a purpose. At the time, the bulldog wasn't an affectionate companion. The most aggressive and courageous dogs had been selectively bred for generations to be bull baiters. They lived to fight with bulls, bears, and anything else that was put before them. It was all they knew. Despite this, many people admired the bulldog's stamina, strength, and persistence. These few decided to save the appearance and breed them to have a sweet, gentle temperament instead of the aggression needed for the baiting arena. And so the bulldog was re-engineered. Dedicated, patient breeders started selecting only those dogs that had a docile temperament for breeding. Aggressive and neurotic dogs weren't allowed to reproduce. By focusing their attention upon the temperament of the bulldog, these breeders transformed the bulldog into the gentle, affectionate dog we see today. Breeders started showing bulldogs in conformation shows in England in 1859. The first dog show that allowed bulldogs to be shown was at Birmingham, England in 1860. In 1861, a bulldog named King Dick won at the Birmingham show. One of his descendants, a dog named Crib, was later described as being close to perfection. In 1864, the first bulldog breed club was formed by a man named R.S. Rockstro. The club had about 30 members and its motto was "Hold Fast." A member of the club, Samuel Wickens, wrote the first breed standard, using the pseudonym Philocuon. The Bulldog's breed standard reportedly was the first one written in the world. The club unfortunately disbanded after only 3 years. In 1875, another Bulldog club was founded, and it developed a breed standard that was similar to the Philocuon. This breed club is still in existence. Bulldogs were brought to the United States, and a brindle and white bulldog named Donald was shown in New York in 1880. A bulldog named Bob was registered with the American Kennel Club in 1886. In 1890, H.D. Kendall of Lowell, Massachusetts founded the Bulldog Club of America. It was one of the first breed clubs to become a member of the new American Kennel Club. In the beginning, the club used the British breed standard, but thought it wasn't concise enough, so they developed the American standard in 1894 for what they called the American bred Bulldog. The English protested about the name and also some of the items in the new standard. After a lot of work, the standard was revised and accepted in 1896. This standard is still used today. The American Kennel Club recognized the Bulldog in 1890. During the 1940s and 1950s, Bulldogs were close to the top 10 breeds in popularity. Today, the Bulldog ranks 12th among the 155 breeds and varieties registered by the AKC, a tribute to his solid credentials as a companion. More than anything else, the Bulldog is a triumph of the human ability to rehabilitate an entire breed and make it into a desirable, affectionate companion through thoughtful, dedicated breeding practices. In the 1800s, cities such as Rome passed laws that bulldogs couldn't be walked on the streets even on leash due to their ferociousness, and yet, a few years later, the bulldog was already becoming known as one of the friendliest and most tranquil of dogs. All because some dedicated breeders had patience, knowledge, and a vision of what the bulldog could be at its finest. Size. Mature male bulldogs weigh about 50 pounds, mature females about 40 pounds. Show dogs may be about 10 pounds heavier. They stand 12 to 15 inches at the shoulder. Personality. Sociable and sweet, but with a reputation for courage that makes him an excellent watchdog, the bulldog is a lover, not a fighter. He's dignified rather than lively and has a kind although occasionally stubborn nature. The bulldog is friendly and easygoing, he gets along with everyone. He can be a slow learner, but once he knows something, he's got it for good. Bulldogs don't tend to be barkers. Usually, their appearance alone is enough to frighten off intruders. Temperament is affected by a number of factors, including heredity, training, and socialization. Puppies with nice temperaments are curious and playful, willing to approach people and be held by them. Choose the middle-of-the-road puppy, not the one who's beating up his littermates or the one who's hiding in the corner. Always meet at least one of the parents. Usually, the mother is the one who's available to ensure that they have nice temperaments that you're comfortable with. Meeting siblings or other relatives of the parents is also helpful for evaluating what a puppy will be like when he grows up. Like every dog, bulldogs need early socialization exposure to many different people, sights, sounds, and experiences when they're young. Socialization helps ensure that your bulldog puppy grows up to be a well-rounded dog. Enrolling him in a puppy kindergarten class is a great start. Inviting visitors over regularly and taking him to busy parks, stores that allow dogs, and on leisurely strolls to meet neighbors will also help him polish his social skills. Care. Bulldogs are inactive indoors and don't require a great deal of exercise, although they must be walked every day to keep them from gaining weight. They are indoor dogs and prefer a relaxed lifestyle. After about 15 minutes of play, they're ready for a nap. This low to moderate energy level makes the bulldog suited to any type home, from an apartment to a house with a yard. You can take the bulldog for a walk of a mile or two during the cool part of the day, but he'll be just as happy with a brief stroll up and down your street. Because of their pushed-in face, bulldogs don't do well in extremely hot or cold weather. They breathe heavily when they're hot and don't dissipate heat well. They're especially susceptible to heat stroke. As little as half an hour outdoors in 85-degree temperatures can kill them. Provide him with an air-conditioned environment and plenty of fresh water. Bulldogs are also not swimmers. Their massive heads drag them straight down. If you have a pool, spa, or pond, protect your bulldog from falling in. The bulldog is unlikely to be an obedience trial star, but once he learns something, he never forgets it. He learns best through fun training sessions that involve repetition and positive reinforcement through food rewards and praise. Feeding. Recommended daily amount, 1/2 to 2 cups of a high-quality dog food daily, divided into 2 meals. How much your adult dog eats depends on his size, age, build, metabolism, and activity level. Dogs are individuals, just like people, and they don't all need the same amount of food. It almost goes without saying that a highly active dog will need more than a couch potato dog. The quality of dog food you buy also makes a difference. The better the dog food, the further it will go toward nourishing your dog, and the less of it you'll need to shake into your dog's bowl. It's easy to overfeed a bulldog, but obesity can stress his joints, so he shouldn't be allowed to get fat. Keep your adult bulldog in good shape by measuring his food and feeding him twice a day rather than leaving food out all the time. If you're unsure whether he's overweight, give him the hands-on test. Place your hands on his back, thumbs along the spine, with the fingers spread downward. You should be able to feel but not see his ribs without having to press hard. If you can't, he needs less food and more exercise. For more on feeding your bulldog, see our guidelines for buying the right food, feeding your puppy, and feeding your adult dog. Coat color and grooming. Your bulldog's coat should be straight, short, fine-textured, smooth and glossy. He has soft, loose skin, especially on the head, neck, and shoulders. His head is covered with heavy wrinkles and he has 2 loose folds at the throat, from the jaw to the chest, to form what's called a dewlap. Bulldogs come in a variety of colors: red brindle, all other brindles, solid white, solid red, fawn, or fallow, pale cream to light fawn, pale yellow, or yellow-red, and piebald, large patches of 2 or more colors. Solid black isn't common and isn't much admired. Brush the bulldog's smooth, fine, short-haired coat once a week with a firm bristle brush. Wipe his face with a damp cloth every day, taking care to clean inside the wrinkles. Be sure to dry the inside of the wrinkles completely after they're washed. Some people suggest wiping the wrinkles with baby wipes that have lanolin and aloe vera. If your bulldog's skin is irritated inside of the wrinkles, ask your vet to recommend a soothing ointment. After you've cleaned the wrinkles, wash your bulldog's nose and apply petroleum jelly to it to keep it soft and prevent it from becoming dry and flaky. The bulldog is an average shedder. If you can take the time to brush him more than once a week, it will help reduce the amount of hair that gets on your clothes and furniture. Other grooming needs include nail care and dental hygiene. Trim your bulldog's nails once or twice a month. If you can hear them clicking on the floor, they're too long. The earlier you introduce your bulldog to nail trimming, the less stressful the experience is for both of you. Brush the teeth at least 2 or 3 times a week. Daily is better, to remove tartar and bacteria. Start when your puppy is young so he'll be used to it. As you groom, check for sores, rashes, or signs of infection such as redness, tenderness, or inflammation on the skin, in the ears, nose, mouth, and eyes, and on the feet. Ears should smell good, without too much wax or gunk inside, and eyes should be clear, with no redness or discharge. Your careful weekly exam will help you spot potential health problems early. Children and other pets. His amiable temperament and bulk make the bulldog an excellent companion for children, even young ones. A bulldog will put up with a lot from a child, although he shouldn't have to, and he'll walk away if he gets tired of being tormented. Always teach children how to approach and touch dogs, and always supervise any interactions between dogs and young children to prevent any biting or ear or tail pulling on the part of either party. Teach your child never to approach any dog while he's sleeping or eating, or to try to take the dog's food away. No dog should ever be left unsupervised with a child. With their pacific nature, bulldogs also get along well with other pets, dogs, and cats. They may be less sociable toward strange dogs, however. Rescue groups. Bulldogs are sometimes purchased without any clear understanding of what goes into owning one, and these dogs often end up in the care of rescue groups, in need of adoption or fostering. Other bulldogs end up in rescue because their owners have divorced or died. Adopting an adult bulldog has many benefits. Adult dogs are often already house-trained and have some obedience training, and they've already gone through the destructive puppy stage. I hope you enjoyed this video enough and it was informative. Please like the video and subscribe the channel. Introduce us to your friends. Good luck to you all.